Hello everybody, welcome back to this third episode in the Solutions series where I'm looking at trying to improve Wolves for next season. And if you have missed the first two episodes, I've spoke about the core group of players, from players within the squad already, some players who perhaps could get sold to raise some funds, and then players who there's a few question marks over. But today I'm looking at players who might come in for free. So I've just looked at the website Transfermarkt and looked at players who are available for free in the summer, whose contracts are running out basically, and just handpicked a couple of players who I think Wolves could go for. I think there's a couple that are pretty unlikely as well. The next video as well, we'll be talking about players from the wider football world and Europe in particular, and thinking about players who might come in for significant fees perhaps. So without further ado, starting off in the goalkeeper position, because as I mentioned in the last video, I would expect John Ruddy to be on his way out. Now, according to Transfermarkt, then Ruddy's contract is up in the summer as well. So let's say that Wolves decide to move him on. So who would be a suitable backup to Patricio, as he's a member of our core group in this make-believe future? And personally, from the goalkeepers who are available for free in the summer, there's two who I've written down who are possibilities the Wolves might go for. Willy Caballero, who's been at Manchester City and Chelsea. He's 39 though, so it would be very much a one season or two season kind of job, but he's a pretty solid backup. Even now, this season, he's played a couple of games when Ariza Balaga had a shocker at the start of the season, and I think he's been Chelsea's cup keeper as well for a couple of years. But I think a really good option could be Sergio Romero at Manchester United, who's currently 33 years old and is their backup keeper. Now, with the emergence of Henderson as well there at Manchester United, challenging for that number one jersey, it could be that Romero wants first team football now for the next couple of years, and I don't know if Wolves will definitely be able to offer that, but he certainly would be really good competition for Patricio in the next year or so, in the short term, and possible replacement for Patricio. He's a little bit younger than him, not much at all, but I think it'd be good competition for him. So in defence, the only player I've written down is Eric Garcia from Manchester City, and he's somebody who I think is probably going to get a contract at City anyway because he's so young, 20 years old, a market value of 18 million as well, which is pretty good considering that his contract is up in the summer. There's not much on offer in the summer in terms of free transfers there. You've got Fabian Schär from Newcastle, Ryan Bertrand at left back, Van Aanholt from Palace at left back as well, who maybe will provide some cover for Johnny and Marcel next season if they carry on with their terrible run of fortune with injury. In terms of centre back, you've got the likes of Sacco, David Luiz, or Federico Fernandez, who's another one I've thought about writing down from Newcastle. I think he might be a pretty okay backup if we're thinking about bulking up the squad a little bit and adding players to sort of come in. But Romain Saiss again is on this list. I would personally prefer him over any of those sort of signings. But I do think that Garcia might be one that we look at if he doesn't go for a contract at City. But with the re-emergence of John Stones there, chances for him to play football are becoming increasingly limited. So it could be that Wolves do, or somebody does, go and make a move for Eric Garcia. Now in the centre midfield positions, there was two players that really caught my eye here, and that if Wolves were to go for any of these players, I think it would enhance our squad. And of course, centre midfield is an area that we are going to be looking to strengthen in the summer. And two players who are available for free, according to Transfermarkt, are Gini Wijnaldum from Liverpool, who has contributed a lot to Liverpool over his time there, winning a Champions League and a league title, and has been key members of those squads as well, contributing a lot of important goals. Think back to that Barcelona semi-final a couple of years ago. He was really, really important in that. He's 30 though, so it would be kind of a replacement for Moutinho, but not with a very long-term sort of thought process about that. It would be it'd only be for a couple of years, I'd imagine. He is somebody though who would command an enormous wage, you'd think, but without paying any sort of fee for him, it would be quite a good investment, I think, personally. His market value is £36 million. What he can add in terms of attacking threat from midfield, I think, is what we need. So I think it would be worth paying £200,000 a week or whatever it might be for Wijnaldum. The other midfielder who I think might be a little bit cheaper and might be a little bit more likely to come would be John Lundstram from Sheffield United. It looks like they're going to get relegated, so there could be a scrap for quite a few of the players there anyway. But John Lundstram's contract is up at the end of the season. I imagine that, you know, having the taste of Premier League football after these couple of years since their promotion, and he's impressed as well at times. I think he's been one of the standout players in their couple of years in the Premier League. So it might be worth taking a punt on him. His wages will be nowhere near the likes of Wijnaldum, and it could be worth just having a punt on him. Extra man in the squad, extra option in midfield, and yeah, could be somebody that we go for. And then finally, up front, if we're thinking about, you know, there's a question on Willian Jose and whether or not Wolves actually trigger the option on him and buy him because he hasn't scored yet, although I do think he's contributed a lot so far. There's 3 people that I've written down here. Again, one is extremely unlikely, impossible. Sergio Aguero, 32 years old at Manchester City. He's going to be offered another contract, but his contract is up in the summer. Then Edison Cavani at Manchester United, 34 years old. It could be that he does get another year with Manchester United, but he might be moved on. His wages would be enormous, but he's a proven goal scorer. He would be, I think, a pretty good option to have off the bench or to have starting games, but again, I don't think it's very likely. But the one that I looked at and thought maybe was Andros Townsend. We're quite weak in the winger positions, although, you know, there's been this sort of myth over Wolves over the last couple of years that we've got a plethora of options at winger. Since Costa and Cavaleiro have gone, we haven't really replaced them with anybody. So Andros Townsend, although he's 29, I think he would be quite an effective winger and a good backup to the likes of Traore. There are probably better options out there. As a squad player, I don't think he would be the worst option at all. So there we go. Let me know, and I'm ready for pelters in the comments. But let me know if there's anybody who you found for free. I've purely looked at the Premier League as well. I know that there's the likes of Sergio Ramos, who's available for free from La Liga in this summer. But let me know if you found anybody from any other leagues who's up for free in the summer, and let me know if you think they would fit the Wolves team and the Wolves system at the minute. Thank you very much for watching. Check back in a couple of days for another video about the players who Wolves could spend a bit of money on in the next couple of months. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, everybody. Bye.
Buzzing down the chip shop, by now you must have heard. The Wolves I'm going to Wembley, buzzing either word.